There's a substance inside of it that you can't see on the outside. It has a foundation that's solid on the inside, and regardless of what happens on the outside, because there's something on the inside, it can't help but get back up. And I can understand why Paul could shake it off and go back to living life. Because he was so convinced that the same God that delivered me out of my history would bring me into my destiny, that there's nothing that I could ever do that could subvert the plan of God for my life, that every time something hit me, whether assault or not, I have to bounce back. Why? Because greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And watch this. The storm came and thought it had him down, and then what happened? The snake bit him, thought it had him down. It gets worse. They thought the barbarians said, well, justice has just prevailed. Paul, you might as well give up. They began to count 5, 4, 3, 2, almost got to 1, and something just popped right back up. Why? Because see, I told you. Popped right back up. Why? Man, just kick that thing. Almost had something good there. Popped right back up. Why? He had to have some help today. That's the sermon is that sometimes you need some help to get up, all right? He bounced right back because there was something on the inside of him. Yes. And I want you to know today there's something on the inside of you. Whether you realize it or not, there is a will to survive. Somebody say survive. Survive. Remember the show Survivor? I used to like this show and I just kind of got out of it. I watched like the first season, but I was so amazed at the first season because here's a group of people, and for a while they worked together to survive. But the closer it got to the end, they were all out for themselves. And this is where you have to be careful. If you are surviving based upon your ability to hurt everybody else and climb up on top of them, you're missing the point. You're still the victim. But when you can get to the place that when people talk negatively about you and say things that hurt and point the finger and touch the very most sensitive areas of your life, when you can get to the place that you can shake it off and not say something hurtful back to them or say something painful back to them and try to cause pain in their life because they cause pain in your life, when you can grow up and get out of that childish understanding, childish thinking, childish speaking and acting and walk into the place of maturity and you can shake it off, it said that he just went on back to living. And what amazes me is the very people that said he should have died because he didn't retaliate in hurtful language. He didn't retaliate and try to say and forget all the nice things that they had done for him. Because he went back to living, it said they watched him for a long while. And people are watching you. They're watching to see how you respond to things. They're watching to see your faithfulness. They're watching to see what you do and how you act and how you respond. And it said when they saw him, and he didn't fall over. Let's see if we can get this. Now it won't even work. I can't even get this stay down now. When they saw that he should have fallen over and not got back up, and he just kept getting back up, it said they changed their mind. Want me to tell you how to change the people's minds that don't like you the most? Keep surviving. Keep surviving. Don't have such a victim mentality where you feel like somebody owes you something, but get up and do something for yourself. So you were raised in a single-parent home and you didn't have the ability to go to college. Here you are in your older state, still all nice looking and everything. Get your hiney back in school. They have no excuse. Get an education. Do something with your life and be a survivor. Don't use the excuse, well, I never had anybody to hand it to me like that. You can hand it to yourself. May take you longer to get there than everybody else, but the fact of the matter, when you get there, that's what will change people's minds. So you had all kinds of disadvantages growing up. People said curse things to you and said that you never amount to anything, that you're not important, and that you're just a loser and you're less than and you're a low life. Prove them wrong. Become a great mother that instills in her children values and integrity and a sense of knowing who they are. And raise those kids up to not turn out with the same mindset that you had and prove them wrong. And don't think that you've got to earn $1 million or have a big business or all kinds of letters behind your name to be a survivor. Because you could simply be just a great husband or a great spouse and break the pattern of divorce off of your family cycle and be a survivor. It could be just so simple as you just being able to be faithful over what God gives you at the present and be a survivor. And not be like everybody else that goes into debt over their head, up to their eyeballs, over past their earlobe, and can't find a way out, and they got to believe God for some type of miracle to win the lottery. Be faithful with what you've got. Be a steward of what you've got. And in time, as people are watching your life, and God brings increase, because through the process, you developed a mentality of keeping some of what you have and not getting rid of it all and spending it on riotous living and everything else, but getting to the place where you can manage some things and survive. It said as Paul began to leave this island, that the minds were changed of those that criticized him. This is the part I love the most. It said they come running with some stuff. And it is so vague, it doesn't even tell what the stuff is. I believe because half of us would just get offended, because we would think there's no way Paul would need all the stuff that he got. I believe it actually says in the original translation, wares, W-A-R-E-S. Did you know the word wares in Greek and Hebrew? It means valuables, goods, jewelry, money, new boats, nice clothes, robes, all those things that we shun and think are ungodly. I don't know what Paul did with them. I'd like to think that it funded the rest of his missionary journeys, because he never took up an offering. I know I wasn't going to get any help there. I should have got somebody to say something. Never do you hear throughout the rest of the missionary journeys of Paul did he ever lack any money or monetary goods at all. I believe it's because here's a group of people that saw God was with him, saw his ability to survive, and realized, I better get connected to this guy. I better do something nice for him, because if he can survive that, I can survive that. If he can make it through that, I can make it through that. And today, I believe the mindsets of those people that's been against you is changing. Why? Because you're surviving and you keep on going. How are you surviving? Because you choose to bounce back from everything. Just like Sister Betty was in a hospital bed last time I saw her. She bounced back. She's at church today. Quadruple bypass and everything else. She's here today because she bounced back. My brother in the back, who was on his own deathbed, felt like giving up. He bounced back and has joy. You should see the smile this man's wearing. It looks so great on him. I wish more of you would wear the same thing. It would be awesome. Get nobody to smile back at me. I was trying to find something. I got one. Bingo. If we could get to the place where we understood all we have to do is survive. It's not our job to convince those people they're not with us. It's not our job to try to make things happen. Just survive. Get rid of the victim mentality. Get up on our own 2 feet. Do what we can for ourselves. Let God do the rest. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to give up and do so dramatically tremendous things. I'm not asking you to try to make things happen. I'm simply asking you, if you can do it on your own, don't look to somebody else to do it. Break the victim mentality, and let's be a survivor today. Will you stand up on your feet with me before we close this service? I appreciate your time. We gave an altar call already, but I believe right now that there are some people. I hope this message encouraged you. I hope that it uplifted you. But more than anything, I hope we all have come to the place where we understand God has called us to bounce back. We don't have to stay down. But we can bounce back because there's something inside of us that gives us a foundation that no matter what happens on the outside, we're firmly grounded on the inside. And today, if you just need somebody to help you get up, just like the punching bag needed my help just a little bit. If you need some people to help you stand on your own 2 feet and get to the place where you can say, you know what, I can do this on my own. I believe that I love the welfare system of this country, but I believe it's abused. The simple fact that there's some people they can do some things on their own. And if you're on that, I don't criticize you at all. I'm saying as a whole, the system is almost worked against us. Because it's bred the mentality into us that if somebody feels sorry for us and wants to help us, we get hooked on the help. And not on the fact that we can help somebody else. And it's so easy to get hooked on spiritual welfare. Well, we come to church and we can...